Good morning. I hope you are fine. Let us today will discuss the ecosystem, our next topic. Okay, in this presentation we will discuss about the component of ecosystem and biotic and abiotic factors which are the part of ecosystem, and the food chain and food web which is present in the ecosystem, and the trophic level in which the energy flow from one level to another level. And I am D Bhavani Singh. I will explain all the topic of ecosystem. Let us move on the first slide. Okay, the first of all, the ecosystem, this term was coined by Sir A.G. Tansley. Okay, you keep in mind who discovered this term and given this term ecosystem. Sir A.G. Tansley, very important name. And basically what is the ecosystem? It is the functional ecological unit in which living organism called biotic and interact with the non-living component like abiotic, like water, soil, air, sunlight and temperature. So we keep in mind that what is ecosystem, where the living and non-living interact with each other. Okay, right now I am recording this presentation in the same way I am present. Ecosystem is functional around me, and you can hear the voice also of biotic factors right now. Okay, now biotic component, all living organisms are called the biotic component, and we have classified this biotic component into three category. First of all, one is called producer, and the green plants are called autotroph, are called producer because they can perform photosynthesis and they can convert the active solar energy into organic form, which is for storage and for consumption of next level. Second is called consumer. Okay, B is consumer. Consumer कौन है? Animals and human being are called consumer. And in the last, decomposers. Bacteria and fungi are called decomposer. All of these play an important role in the ecosystem. Next, now you can see the abiotic component of ecosystem. Air, water, sunlight, solar radiation, temperature and sunlight, all are the abiotic, non-living part or component of ecosystem, and they play very important role. Okay, they are non-living part. Now you can see in the diagram also the trees are also present. Okay, here air is also present, here is temperature also present, even sun radiation, sunlight is also coming. All are, soil is also present, water is also present. All these are the abiotic component of ecosystem. They play very important role. Next one, we have classified the ecosystem into two types. What is the basically two types? First is artificial ecosystem. The ecosystem which is made by humans, man, that is called artificial ecosystem. Like aquarium, you have seen that in artificial glass made a chamber is there in which the pebbles and water is present, and you can keep the fish in that. That is man-made. So we call it man-made ecosystem, aquarium. Second one is called the crop field. Crop field is also a artificial ecosystem because the crop is sown according to the choice of the farmer, and they perform all things grow not naturally, it is by man-made. So everything is function is performed by humans, that's why it is called artificial ecosystem. Now natural ecosystem, forest, desert, grassland, rivers, pond, lake, all are the natural ecosystem in which everything occurs automatically. There is no human intervention or disturbance by the human beings. Now you can see the diagram of artificial ecosystem, aquarium and crop field. All are artificial. You can see the farmer is working in the crop field. Even one person is working with the ox, and he is working in the crop field. Next one, you can see the natural ecosystem. Like this one, the diagram is desert, still the plant is growing because it is not supported by the environment. And even you can see this stream is also there. Okay, you can see the boats are also there. It is basically stream, river, and in this side you can see mountain also, sunlight also present, and grassland also present, soil is also present, and we can say it is a stream. Okay, this is also a natural ecosystem. Now move on next. Now we can see the food chain and food web. Okay, what is food chain? Basically the sequence of eating and being eaten is called food chain. Okay, you can see the diagram. Like producer is also there. Plants that perform the photosynthesis produce the food which is consumed by the snail, primary consumer, and then finally the snail is consumed or eaten by the sparrow, secondary consumer, and finally this sparrow is eaten by the tertiary consumer, eagle. In the same way, in a particular area, when the more number of food chains are interconnected with each other in a nature, we called it food web. Now in this diagram, it is, you can see many food chain are present. Like one food chain is there, another food chain is this one, another food chain is this one, and another food chain is this one, and this one is also food chain. Like 5 or 6 food chains are interconnected with each other, so we call it food web. But in generally, what is the drawback of food web? That we cannot observe all the food chain or food web or every steps of the food web, but they occurs at a same place at a same time, but we can't visualize them. That is the drawback, but they are present in our ecosystem. Okay, trophic level. The organism occupies a specific place or position in the food chain, that is called trophic level. That means every organism have a specific place in the ecosystem, and that's why that level is called trophic level. If we discuss little bit more, soil decomposer are also there, but they are not shown in the food chain or food web, but they perform a important function. But first trophic level is we called plant, or we called it primary producers. Okay, so whatever the solar energies get utilized by the plant, they convert it into organic form, and all these herbivorous depends upon plants for food. So the primary consumer is called herbivorous. We call them, keep them in the second trophic level. So herbivorous consume the food or get the energy from first trophic level. Now above this second trophic level, this is called third trophic level, and all the carnivorous are enlisted in the third trophic level because they consume the secondary consumer or herbivorous. And finally, fourth trophic level, we call it top carnivorous because they eat the third trophic level organism. That's why all the trophic levels are interconnected with each other. That is called trophic level. And what is the things occurs between them? The energy transfer from one level to another level. Now transfer of energy. Plants receive 100% of solar energy, but plant can fix only 1% of solar energy into organic form. Like during the photosynthesis, sun give out all the energy to the earth, but only plants utilize only 1 or 2% of that and convert it into organic form like glucose, starch or carbohydrate. So the radiation which is utilized by the plants, this is called photosynthetic active radiation, and it is 2 to 10% approximately. It is mentioned in some authentic books, but in our books it is mentioned only 1%. So we have to consider in mind that some books mention 1%, some mention 2 to 10%. Okay, herbivorous when consume the plants, but they get only 10% of the remaining 9 energy, and 90% of that get released out in the atmosphere in the form of heat and energy, and in the last it transfers only 10% in the next level. So the energy transfer from primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary, and tertiary to top level carnivorous, it is only 10%, and this law was discovered by a scientist named Lindmans. So that law is called Lindmans 10% law. I show you in the next slide. So we have to keep in mind this very important name, Lindmans 10% law. Only 10% energy is passed on the next level. For example, if we have to discuss this level, we have to move in this direction. Okay, sun suppose gives 10 lakhs joule of the active radiation. So only 1% get utilized by the plants, and finally 1% of 10 lakh is only 10,000 joule. So the plants can fix 10,000 joule into organic form. Okay, so when the insect eat the plants, 10% of that is only transfer into the insect. So 10% of the 10,000 joule is only 1000 joule. So insect receive only 1000 joule of that organic energy. Remaining 90% is, we can say, released in the atmosphere in the form of heat and energy. Okay, when a sparrow consume the insect, the 10% transfer into sparrow and remaining 90% release into form of heat in the atmosphere. That means only 100 joule received by the sparrow. And finally, when the eagle feed on the sparrow, he receive only 10 joule. That means he is a tertiary consumer. So in every level we can see the 10% law is visible. 10% energy transfer from one level to another level in the organic form, and 90% of energy release out in the form of heat. Okay, so this is called 10% law of Lindemann. So we have keep in mind, and also the same topic you will study in higher classes also. Okay, so my sincere request, if you like the video, then please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day, and please press the bell icon. I am D. Bhavani Singh. Thank you. God bless you.